Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to another edition of Wrestling with Tism, where there was always Spectrum on the internet. I'm your host, the He-Man James Hebert, joined by my co-host, Fish and Dish Connection, Hannibal Scorch, Ryan. What's going on, gentlemen?
You want to go?
No, I was gonna let you go.
All right. Bet.
Here we go.
We had to take the week off last week. Refresh some juices. All of that jazz. But in our week off, we've been productive. We slaved over a couple of concepts for conversation. Is what it is. James,
Yes.
Did you enjoy your break though?
I did. I did a left turns call. It was fun. And then I also just kind of chillaxed, got to play some games, and in between my actual work. So it was pretty good. It was nice, refreshing change of pace. But now I'm back on the saddle and ready to go.
What's a left hands call?
Left turns call.
Okay.
It was a NASCAR reference. We're trying not.
He's not allowed to say. He's not allowed to talk about NASCAR.
Trying to skirt around it.
Gotcha.
All right,
Okay.
but no.
It was not intentional, by the way. I swear
Skirt.
it wasn't intentional.
No. We enjoyed the weekend. Took the wife out to a nice dinner. Bought a Switch 2 Pro controller.
There you go.
Biggest waste of money I'm probably going to spend on this system because my old Switch 1 Pro controller still works.
Yeah.
But is what it is. But since we're on the topic of video games, we're now, people who are look at the thumbnail, so they see Kratos hating on Australia.
Why does Kratos hate Australia? Not that I'm mad, I'm just curious.
Listen,
I mean, it's full of things that he would fight in any game. Between kangaroos and spiders. Spider season is a real thing, everybody. But Sony State of Play.
Yeah.
Now, James, I made sure you watched it. We briefly talked about the State of Play.
Yeah.
Hannibal. For video games, did anything in that State of Play actually engage you, Hannibal?
Yeah,
We'll ask you the question first.
I feel that we talked about this a little bit, but obviously not publicly. But there was a few things. One of the things that I'm really looking forward to, I'm not really sure why, but it is 007 First Light. Because we've not had, the James Bond film franchise has now been dead for a few years. We're waiting for that to kind of kick back off. And I can't remember the last time we had a James Bond game.
Yeah.
And I think we talked about this before. Like I really liked the EA games that they did in like the early noughties on like the GameCube and stuff. I want to say there was like Nightfire and I don't know, Agent Under something. Yeah, of course. The British man looks forward to James Bond. Yeah.
Listen, man. Just because it's a stereotype doesn't mean you can't do it. All right.
But the thing that I said to Ryan about it, because this was the first time I'd really. It's not that I was avoiding trailers for it, but I was kind of just waiting for the game to like be nearer to release. And now I've seen a trailer for it. I'm not particularly keen on the face model they've got for James Bond. It doesn't really look James Bondy to me. And look, I know James Bond has obviously been played by different people and they all look very different from each other, but I didn't look at that character and think that looks like James Bond. And when you're talking about a video game, you can make that character look however you want it to. And I just don't know what they've done with it. But the game itself looks quite fun, and there's going to be a lot of hype around it. And I'm just interested to, finally get to play it when it comes out.
Yeah. Fair.
When you first told me about Bond First Light, 007 First Light, I should say.
Yeah.
I wasn't entirely sure what I was going to expect from it because I haven't really played Hold on here. It's somewhere around here. Okay, I don't care. I haven't really played too many 007 games past GoldenEye.
Yeah.
Right. I have played them. I just couldn't tell you which ones I played.
Yeah.
Right. We were child, but past GoldenEye and the N64, which absolutely could use a glow up, but because it's a movie game and film rights and all of that, you're never going to get all the stars to align to get that remake.
Well, we have got a remake of Souls, right? Well, there was one a few years ago on Switch Online and Xbox Live.
A port. I think that was a port.
It was a remastered port, but I didn't play it. I played like the first level because it felt weird to me to be playing it on a different controller. Like, I can't tell you with GoldenEye. I was in college. Well, no, actually, when it first came out, I was in school. But because it was just a few years later, the N64 was still a thing. When we got to college, we would, after like the day had finished, we'd go around to my friend's house. There'd normally be, minimum of 4, normally 6 or 7 of us. And we would just take it in turns to play 4-player GoldenEye. We loved that shit. And it's weird in that now we have TVs bigger than ever.
Yeah.
But you can only play like 2 players really on most games. I know like we played Mario Kart World like 3 of us. But it's not quite the same. It's not quite the same.
Yeah, it like a lot of these HD TV games, like when you try to use like an old console and you try to do 4-player anything, it's always stuck in this 4x3 box, and it's like, I don't know. Is that me? I can't tell.
Well, it's because these games aren't meant to be played on HD televisions. No. CRTs are getting more and more sparing to come across. I still have one down in the basement that I have not drugged back out because I'm okay playing it on that. It is what it is. But to Hannibal's point, because I had to remind myself, what does James Bond look like again? Because it looked weird, and I think the reason as it looks weird is it looks like a Fortnite Jonesy.
Yeah.
and if you play Fortnite, you'll know what I'm talking about. We did not have Gratz. I did not send him a picture to throw it up on the thing, but it looks like a Fortnite Jonesy, and it is what it is. There were some other announcements though that came out of that. But James, was there anything that particularly caught your eye that you would like to talk about in this brief time period before we bring up the guests?
Yes,
if there are any.
Yeah, there's actually a few that caught my eye. I pulled an EJ. I apologize that I had 3 on my list, but two are more. One's to watch and one's more graphical than anything. One I'm actually looking forward to playing with friends. One was Marvel Token Fighting Souls. You could tell that a lot of the old team. I think we were talking about it earlier in the creative with Slick. Like, you could tell there was a lot of inspiration for Marvel vs. Capcom series. Love those games. Love all the Capcom fighters, really. I've been playing them for as long as I can remember. Shit. One of my favorites is Street Fighter 4. Not 2, believe it or not. I'm a 4 kind of guy. I actually started with 4, and then I kind of went back retroactively from the series from there. So yeah, looking forward to the Marvel game. Looking forward to the new Ghost game, which I feel like I'm gonna botch this again because I actually had to write it
Ghost
down.
of Yotei.
Yeah, Ghost of Yotei, Legends. I'm looking forward to that just because that's the one I'm actually gonna watch somebody let's play through, because I remember watching Tsushima and just the visual stunningness of that game was like second to none. I'm really looking forward to that. So that's caught my eye for that. And then because I recently started getting into Resident Evil, I'd say about 2 years ago, really looking forward to Resident Evil Requiem.
I'm going to pause you right here. All right. Mr. GameCube enthusiast. Mr. GameCube enthusiast. Resident Evil 4 the best game on the Nintendo GameCube, bar none. Nothing compares. You're just now getting into Resident Evil?
Listen, I was a Mario kid, bro. What do you want from me? maybe slightly a Sonic kid. I was very sheltered as a child. I don't know what you want me to tell you. All right. But hey, listen, better late than never, right? But yeah,
Where's the love of Beautiful Joe? How dare you? Like, don't just demand
listen,
Resident Evil 4 was the best game on the GameCube, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
I'm so, you are entitled to your wrong opinions. All right. But go on, Jim. So tell us what you're saying.
I'm looking for that. Those are the three I'm looking forward to, and yes, I'm looking forward to Requiem because Leon S. Kennedy looks fucking dope. So there you go.
Well, somehow Leon S. Kennedy, is infected again. All right.
Of course he is.
He needs to be more careful.
Yeah, man. Got to stop getting them injections. That's what he needs to do.
Also, can I, as James had multiple attempts at this, I just wanted to give a shout out to the John Woo game, which
the John Wick game. Yeah.
Here's the thing about the John Woo game, right? All we saw was basically a video game version of some fight sequences we've seen in some of the films, right? But I used to really like this game on the Xbox 360 called John Woo's Stranglehold, or maybe it's called Stranglehold. Let me have a look at the poster. Hang on, the cover. Yeah. John Woo presents Stranglehold. Yeah. So it was kind of a little bit like Max Payne, I guess, mixed with a John Woo like live action film.
John Wick.
And if they could like have a similar kind of game mechanic like that, but obviously more modernized with the John Wick franchise, I reckon it could be really good.
I'm excited for it. I particularly, confession time, everybody. As much as John Wick is ingrained into our culture nowadays, I've not seen a damn movie.
Holy cow, man!
So I know about the dog. I know about the dog. I know that he's this apex, predator, effectively in terms of mercenaries and assassins and that type of shit. All right, I have not really engaged with the John Wick franchise. It's on the books. Yeah. We just haven't got there yet.
It's so I was hearing people talk about John Wick on podcasts, and I was like, I need to see this film. And because the first one, really wasn't considered it was going to be anything, at the time Keanu Reeves wasn't really a box office draw or anything like that. It had a US release, but they hadn't secured international rights at the time. So I want to say it was like September or October or something that John Wick came out in America. And it didn't come out in the UK until like April or May the next year. So basically I waited until it hit digital platforms, and I managed to like VPN it and watch it before it came out in the UK because I was so excited to see this film. And I remember that I hadn't seen a trailer. I knew roughly what it was about, and I just said to my wife, look, got this film to watch. It's got Keanu Reeves, and it's going to be like a kind of shooty film. And we watched it together, and we were just like, this is amazing. We were instant fans. I love the franchise. I think it's a great franchise.
There you go. Yeah, well, I'm actually not alone, or Ryan, you're not alone. I have also never seen a single John Wick movie. Although
with these people,
listen, man, listen, it is what it is. I will.
I can fake my way through a John Wick conversation long enough.
Listen,
it's like me and NASCAR.
What's funny is I've seen The Accountant before I've seen John Wick, and I haven't even seen the second movie yet because I'm broke as shit.
You also thought it was coming out this year, not that it's been out for almost a year at this point.
Because my time sucks, guys. I have this thing called what was it that you called it? Shiny? Like I see a shiny and then I'm distracted. That's basically what happened.
That's called autism.
It's called
An attention deficit disorder.
ADD, baby. ADD. For the win.
So for me, the big game that was announced, I'm really excited for it. I don't know why we're doing all three of them, but it's the God of War trilogy.
Yeah.
They are going back and remaking and remastering the Greek trilogy. And that is going to be a really fun experience. I don't know why it's taken them this long. We're at the end of the 20th anniversary for the franchise at this point, and they could have announced this at any point in time. So I just think it's just lazily probably put together and not a lot of effort was thought about it until recently. Just being honest here, right? And I like God of War. I've been wanting to play 60 FPS God of War from on the originals for a long time. So with this in mind, this will probably release sometime next year, and I'm excited for it at that point because we are just remastering. It says remake. I cannot imagine that this is going to be any more than just an HD high-res version of what Spyro the Dragon and Crash Bandicoot have done before them. For their remakes and remasters. So this is what it is.
Nice.
Have you guys played the original God of Wars?
I played the one on the PSP.
Yeah.
And maybe three?
I played the first. Yeah, I played the first two.
Oh, so look, if we put us together, James, and basically we've completed it, mate.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. Put our brain cells together. We found a way to make it happen. Oh wow, people are actually asking the question. Well, now
No. This is just yanking your crank. Do not fall for it.
Well, I mean, they went left.
My follow-up question is, okay, James, you played God of War at any capacity.
Yeah. Mainly
Yeah,
mainly one.
Mainly one. So for a remake of this game, would you want a the over-the-shoulder perspective that the Norse games, PS4/PS5 games, the Ragnarok Nordic God saga for God of War? Would you want the over-the-shoulder perspective for Kratos, or would you want the traditional Greek game perspective, where you're just looking at it from top down?
That's actually a fair question. I like the first one the best, so I would probably play the first one, then the second one, then I try the third one. I watched clips of the third one. I'm like, I don't know what direction we're taking it. Although my boy, that's a meme, so that's funny. But that's about it. That's about all I got from 3. So
what was the one? So I've got a God of War game on the PlayStation 4. Yeah.
That would have been the second one.
That could be,
or no, that could be the third one. No, that was
hold
the
on.
third one.
Okay, so there are 3 God of Wars they're the ones that we're going to talk about, the ones that are important. There are 3 in the Greek trilogy. There are 2 in the Norse trilogy, or they're not a trilogy. Word for 2.
I would go with.
What would be the word for 2? The pair, the Norse pair.
Yeah,
there's
for lack of better
term, and then the Greek trilogy.
But I thought the one I had on PlayStation 4 was just called God of War.
Yeah, it is just called God of War.
Right.
That's God of War 4.
Yeah, but it's called God of War, but it is God of War 4 essentially.
Yeah.
I thought that was the case. I didn't think it was a remaster. I thought it was a different entry in the series.
Yeah, it is a fun game. And to be fair, I played a lot more of the Norse trilogy. Sorry, pair than I played of the Greek trilogy, and I would like to be able to play these games. So I'm excited for them. With that in mind, though, is what it is. If no one, because through our best efforts, throwing this out to the weeds, wants to come in and participate in the video game conversation on camera, it'd be like that. So I do want to go back to talk about Resident Evil Requiem here, James.
Yes.
So the Resident Evil 9, I do believe, is the games where it's pulling from its canon. Basically, if it's been remade, that's the new canon.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Resident Evils 2, 3, 4 have been remade, right? But 5 and 6, I do believe the events with 5 and 6 are still canon until they remake 5 and 6.
Yeah.
But Resident Evil 7 and 8 are the timeline and continuity that are important for this game.
Right.
Leon, I expect, is going to die in this game. I think it's old man Leon. We're going to put him out the pasture. We're going to send him out the way Joel does. Maybe not with a golf club to the head, but yeah.
It could be some fucking blunt object to the head, though. It wouldn't shock me in the slightest with Leon. But now I think you're on the money. I think he's gonna go this game somehow. I'd actually be shocked. I'm actually shocked it took it this long, to be honest. But
what do you know about Dig Dug?
I
don't know anything about Dig Dug.
Oh my god, Dig Dug. Fucking Dig Dug, Hannibal with a fucking blast from the past. You know what's funny? GameCube kid here, gonna spit some GameCube knowledge for you. Dude, I have all the best Namco games from the Namco Museum double. I got to get the one for the Xbox. There was a game that released for the Xbox too that has a few games that isn't on the GameCube one. But yeah, I have all those retro games.
You know what?
I know all about Dig Dug.
You know what I want the next time we have a state of play, right? Because like Ryan, I appreciate you were very excited about the fact we're getting the God of War remakes and stuff. But you know what I want to see a remake of? Outrun 2006. Or Outrun 2, whatever you want to call it.
No, Dig Dug wasn't. It was just because Hannibal said it. Grabs, by the way. I was mentioning Hannibal's comment. Anyway.
Outrun 2 is underrated, man. I'll still play that. If I go into an arcade and they've got a machine, I'm still playing Outrun 2.
Fair.
Gotta do some research here.
Doing research.
It's been a while.
Outrun 2 also has an amazing soundtrack, which I do listen to. Ooh. Yeah. I can't even describe it. Japanese.
Gone are the days of traditional just racing games.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yep.
You know what? Rockstar, if you're listening to me, bring back Midnight Club. You have more franchises than Red Dead and Grand Theft Auto, you sons of bitches.
Midnight Club. Damn.
Well, that, and it's like what they basically, like, most of the people that play the online GTA are also like they turn it into a fucking racing game half the time. Like so many.
Grand Theft Auto in nature is supposed to be a racing game.
Yeah, I think so.
With other crime, you steal cars, you commit Grand Theft Auto. The auto part of the Grand Theft is very important.
Very important.
But it is what it is.
I will never forget the disappointment in playing Gran Turismo for the first time, and just trying to play it and get your licenses, and I'm like, nah, this ain't fun. This is like driving a real car. Nah.
Yeah. You know what?
You're just racing from the cops. I love that.
The another racing game that was very similar to that was fucking Grid. You had to do like some fuck shit to get your like license to drive and shit. I'm like, no.
Driver.
Yeah.
Does anyone remember Driver?
Fucking Driver is a good one.
I mean, it's not a good one.
It's not a good one, but it's a good pick of shit.
What was that game? What was that driving game where? Was it just called? It wasn't called Stuntman, was it? There was a Vin Diesel game called Stuntman, but there was a game that I'm thinking of where you had to do stunts in like a movie like fashion, like stunts you would see on a movie set and stuff. Oh man! Well, I'm gonna have to look.
I feel like that's a side quest in Grand Theft Auto Vice City.
Yeah, probably. And by the way, here's another really bad one. We were talking, ironically, mentioned Advocate earlier. NASCAR 2011 sucked ass. Oh my god, it's terrible.
I don't know. Maybe it has something to do with the fact it's a NASCAR game.
No, because Thunder before that was really good, and then even some of the games afterwards were really good, and they were all made by EA, so that explains it.
If you hit me with a game, if you hit me with a game, and you have a year in that same title for that game, I'm not going to play that game anymore.
No.
You know, that's where I'm with it.
It was called Stuntman, and there was a sequel called Stuntman Ignition. The Vin Diesel game was called Wheelman. That was it. But yeah, Stuntman, and you had to, you would on the each like level was like a movie, a fake movie that they did, and then what you had to do was listen to the director perform the stunt as he wanted it, and then once you've done all the stunts for that film, you then see a trailer that was made up with the stunts that you just done. It was fun for like a movie.
Yeah, really. Well, then you're a movie fan, so there you go.
Well, I feel like 30 minutes is enough, or just under 30 is enough on the video game topic, guys. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of the weekend. The big wrestling. The big wrestlings have happened.
Before we do that, everybody that is tuning in for the first time, we are the Wrestle Collective. If you don't know, we have a shop called shop.c.com where you can get your cool merch, including but not limited to the awesome Octopus hoodie.
Shop.c.com.
Exactly. There you go. Go check that out. Really good stuff on there. Couple the sweatshirt that Dev always wears is there as well. Really good designs up there. You should definitely check out. And also, we do 4 different shows, 2 monthly and 2 weekly. You see us. You'll see Hot Dog and a Handshake every month. I think every Tuesday of every month. And then you'll see the first of every month, Queens Road, both headed by Carlos Estrada of the Wrestle Collective. So please go show us some love over there.
First Sunday, first Tuesday.
I think that's how that works. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's how that works. Yeah. I thought it was the first of every month for Queens Road. No.
Not the first of every month. It's on a Sunday.
First. Yeah, no. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, first of every Sunday.
Yeah. That said, February and March will be on the first.
So there you go.
Normally, it will be the first Sunday in the month. Yeah.
I think that's where I got it confused.
Yeah.
Tism, everybody.
James, you were confused to begin with.
You
were confused when you got here.
True.
So Grand Slam, everybody.
Yes.
Tape show. A lot of things went into it. Bald Wheeler? Something I want to get off my chest. I put out so much energy into the world trying to get Tony Storm to be bald, right?
Yeah.
The Grok, remove her hair, because I think bald Tony Storm could be a Lex Luthor level threat. Luthor, very threat, not a Doctor Luthor, not a.
Okay.
But all I'm saying is, unhinged character. We had the potential to take that character to the next level, right?
Yeah, we did.
And it is what it is. Wheeler clearly grew out his hair for this angle. Decent match. I appreciate the fact that Wheeler said, fuck this. He wasn't going to do it. And he tried to leave. And the one true King, John Moxley, comes out and says, what's the problem? I'm bald. You know, you think you're better than me?
Yeah, I remember that. That was funny as shit. Yeah, like, I'm bald. What's the problem? You think you're better than me? I couldn't believe that was what he came out of his mouth. Not the fact that he was like trying to get him to honor his word. It's like, I'm bald. What the fuck is wrong?
It was a fun moment, and the image is still burned in my head. And I kind of want him to keep the hair on the side of his head and just be bald up here.
Fucking have the Hulk Hogan trim from like 97.
Well, actual Japanese warriors have rocked that dude before.
That's fair.
You know,
That's fair.
But either way, I digress. What do you guys think of the angle? And we'll start with Hannibal.
What do I think about the angle? I mean, I'm with you. Like, we were talking a lot of Fuse last week, another show that we do as part of the Wrestle Collective.
You should check that out.
That I would have liked to have seen Tony Storm take a leaf out of Moira Rose's book from Schitt's Creek and just have like loads of crazy wigs and have fun like that. I know we had that with Kurt Angle, but he just had the one. He just had the one.
Yeah, he did.
You know, I wanted lots of like random colors, random styles, you know, pretending that every time she had a different style wig, there was nothing that was different to it, you know. But, you know, Wheeler was the obvious option because he had the most hair to lose and he was starting to look like Cousin It from the Addams Family. You know, I liked how he did it. I thought it was fun. But yeah, I kind of just wish it was a different result. But it'll be interesting to see how Wheeler deals with it because, you know, Wheeler's had long hair now, or he's been growing his hair for quite a long time, and now it's gone. How's it going to affect him? And the one thing that I just want to say, just briefly on the Death Riders, I've seen a lot of people talk about this. I've seen a lot of complaints that, you know, as a faction, some of them are heels, some of them are faces. Why can't they just decide? I actually think the more it's playing out, I actually think this is really fun because when has a faction ever been, you know, kind of like combined?
This nuanced?
Well, yeah. You know, it's all the members are a face, or all the members are a heel, or all of them are tweeners, right? But with this, I wouldn't even say like necessarily like John Moxley's like a full-on baby face, right? But there's certainly like parts of what he's doing that are definitely more face-like. And then you've got people that are clearly still very much heels in the faction, and yet they're still united on that front. I think it's really interesting.
It's almost like they're taking a page of real life, and it's almost like everybody has their own autonomy. Oh my god! What a concept to go with the reality that it gives you. Gee, you know, I don't know. I'm with you. I think it's cool. I like the dichotomy that some members are face, some members are heel. Some members can be kind of tweener. I feel like that's kind of Claudio's role in all this. He's kind of the tweener of everything right now because I think he was like babyface during the Don Callis feud. He's heel during this. He's kind of in the middle of both of those feuds right now. So, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting, and as far as the angle goes, I'm curious to see where Bald Yuta goes. I feel like that's definitely meme worthy, if that makes sense. I feel like we're going to get a lot of different things there. And I feel like this might be the shot in the arm Yuta needs because I feel like we know he's a great wrestler, right? We know that he's a good chicken shit heel, right? We've seen that during this whole Death Riders run. But he's always like failed to like really connect with the audience. Maybe this is like finally the moment where he kind of breaks out. You know what I mean? So I'm curious where they go with it.
As the resident death whisperer here, okay. How I'm reading it is Wheeler has made multiple attempts at trying to make a play.
Yeah.
For, you know, the Death Riders, trying to establish more, not control, but he's making plays for the Death Riders. He attempted to pick up Chris Statlander. That failed. He entered into this feud with Orange Cassidy for no reason whatsoever. In fairness, Timeless Love Bombs was adjacent to the tag team tournament where Marina Shafir was actively a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And this subsequently has brought up another failure for Wheeler Yuta. Wheeler Yuta also failed in the Continental Classic.
This is true. This is true.
So
I just want to say,
wherever this goes, because of how nuanced this is, and the tea leaves showed me a Civil War not that long ago. We can always, move back to the Civil War threshold of storytelling. With that, who knows what's next for Wheeler Yuta? I'm very much here to see a more serious Wheeler.
Yeah.
Now that Wheeler has been truly broken and humbled, it's time to show us that you've evolved. I have faith in Wheeler Yuta. He was one of my favorite characters in the stable. He's who I pegged to take out John Moxley. Is that going to happen? Who knows? But it is what it is. But to move on to the next contest, because I'm going out of order here because we started in the middle of the show. Babes of Wrath, defending their women's World Tag Team Championships against Megabad. This was a fun little match.
Very good.
I called that Harley Cameron would pick up the win against Penelope Ford. Things happen.
You are correct.
Big cheers from the hometown crowd, or as close to the hometown crowd as she's ever going to get. And a debut of a new, dare I say, goddess in Lana Cross. Now, James, you and I recently called a tag, not recently, but you and I have called Megan Bain and Lana Cross.
Yep. Very good match.
Teaming in HECW. And it was a nice proof of concept there.
Yep.
So I don't know how many more factions we're getting, but AEW have picked up a lot of women, and this is where I subsequently AEW have also picked up on the house show following the Grand Slam, the Inspiration. AEW are seemingly beefing up their women's division, and I don't know what for, other than, okay, and I mean this with respect to the Iconics. I love Jessica McKay and Cassie Lee. I find them to be very entertaining, is what it is. But the tag team division needs some pin eaters, needs some jobbers. Being a jobber's not a bad thing, everybody. And quite frankly, they might pull out some wins. Surprisingly, they could become the AEW Women's World Tag Team Champions. Hannibal disagrees, but I don't know.
I'm not disagreeing.
It
may not happen. I'm just disagreeing that it's not something I particularly want to see. But go on, James.
The thing is, like, if you're only familiar with the work in WWE, you would think, okay, well, they obviously can't do shit. During their TNA run, the two different runs that they had, they showed they can hoop a little bit. They showed they can wrestle.
The debut on AMC, that tag match was one of the worst tag matches I've seen.
Oh no, I'm not putting that on. I'm not gonna put that on either team. I'm gonna put that on the agents and the booking. I think.
But with respect, James, I watched that show too, and the Iconics, and the Elegance brand put on quite possibly the worst wrestling match I've seen all year. I've seen a lot of wrestling this year, so I'm not saying it has anything to do with any of the particular women involved. Sometimes it's just a bad night at the office.
Yeah.
Some nights, let's be real, that was their last match in TNA. Maybe it looked bad on purpose. More
Yeah, maybe they were
specifically,
just phoning
you
it
know, some politics, some, you know, we're not going to give them a lot of screen time. You know, it just is what it is. At
They
the
both
end
came
of
out
the
wearing
day,
t-shirts and having boo-boo faces.
the end of the day, I agree with James in the sense that they've wrestled better matches than they've wrestled in WWE.
Yeah.
That last TNA match is not necessarily the bar that we should hold them to. We should wait and see, right?
Yeah.
And whatever they do is however it's going to be done. They debuted on a house show. They wanted some surprises for the house show. And what was that dance?
The bush, the Nutwood.
Yeah, the Nutwood.
All right. And you know, house show things happen at house shows, everybody. But with that, you know, move on to the next little thing. Some actual wrestling, some good grabs. John Moxley, Konosuke Takeshita.
This fucked. Oh my god, this is so good. Anybody that wants to tell me John Moxley can't hoop, you're out of your mind. Oh my god, this match was so damn good.
Never doubt the one true king.
No. He's had some, you know, underrated bangers because they look, you know, you look at Moxley, everybody like sees the brawling style of him is like, oh, he can't wrestle his way out of a paper bag. That's people's first impressions when they tune in. He's like, he looks like a bum, and then the bum can hoop, and boy, can he fucking hoop. Just another one of many John Moxley bangers. It does help that he has Takeshita, but I mean, that's, you know, 1A, 1B here in this fucking division. I think they absolutely delivered. And I love the finish, and I love that they're not done. Yay me. So,
by the way, it was Nutbush. It was the Nutbush, not from Nutbush City Limits.
yes.
That was the dance. My bad.
All right.
Before Tina Turner fans
can you hear me?
going after me.
Yes.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah.
All right, bet. All right, people call, and I'm on the air. It's like, I thought we covered that. This is not a good time to talk to me, peoples. You like that? Anyways, it is what it is. You know, I use the phone for the audio and video, so this is what it is. Konosuke Takeshita and John Moxley absolutely tore it down, and this is by far one of the best matches of the night. I would say that this is match of the night for me. You know, from a straight wrestling context. You know, no extra bells and whistles are needed, and we get to a time limit draw. It is what it is, and we get to continue to build to the next fight, right? Because you know we're in the business to sell pay-per-view, everybody. Because that's another thing people don't understand, that AEW still sells pay-per-view.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you get pay-per-view quality matches, and this absolutely was a pay-per-view quality match, but it was a taste of a pay-per-view quality match.
Yeah, I think it was a great match. I think it was the right decision because look, I've said this before. Like you can lose and look strong, and it's still a loss. Like I know it's a draw, but if you're not the champion walking in, and it's a draw, you still lost because you didn't win the belt. Right? It's a title fight. So, you know, I thought it was a very good showcase for both. I like the post-match angle, which appears to be an audible. We don't know exactly, but if you're looking at what's going on, it does look like John calls an audible, which is, again, one thing. And look, I'm not always his biggest fan, right? But what he brings to that company in those little things that he does shows why he's such a valuable asset to the company. Really smart, if that's what happened. But yeah, I mean, it was a great match, and you know, even it's quite funny because like they did the 5 minutes remaining and then the 1 minute remaining and all that stuff.
Made it feel very frantic by the end.
Well, we've seen it. We saw it during the Continental Classic, right? Because obviously that's the stipulation for those matches, 20-minute time limit. So we've seen that before, and sometimes we've seen matches go to the limit, and other times we've seen a minute left and somebody pulls out the sneak win, right?
Yeah.
And I was kept guessing what was going to happen. Like I really thought maybe we are going to get a definitive winner. From either side, I thought it was great.
Yeah, it really kept both of the, let's just call it what it is, like the aces of both factions looking strong.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they did a damn good job in making both guys look big time. Yeah. There you go.
It was a great match, nonetheless. And there's really nothing else to add on to it other than I can't fucking wait to see the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Order of importance, Kyle Fletcher, Mark Briscoe. The build up to this match is quite controversial. Some people did not appreciate that the debut of Tommaso Ciampa was used as a vehicle to further the feud between Fletcher and Briscoe. I think it was just great TV. The television championship is a championship and that's what it is. It's a TV title. It's named after the fucking station, everybody. But I feel like if there's a title that can change hands, that it's that title. If it's a title that can change hands that frequently, it's that title. And other titles can be traded frequently too, but it is what it is. At the end of the day, we got really Tommaso Ciampa. He beat Mark Briscoe, and he wrestled a really great match against Fletcher, and Fletcher won that match. Became the new champion. Mark Briscoe comes out, declares for the open challenge, and we get a ladder match out of it. Okay, this ladder match was brutal.
Yeah, it was 100%. And for those who are like worried about like Ciampa, like this is not going to be his only title reign in this company. There's no way. He's got another one.
Well, just got there. He just got there. Can we stop with the doom and gloom already?
Like that's what I'm saying. Like just be patient, guys.
I turned around because I saw somebody on Thursday turn around and say, "Can't believe they've got Ciampa jobbing already," and I'm like You can't watch a match like that and turn around and say someone's being jobbed, because that's not what jobbing means. Jobbing doesn't mean losing a match.
It was such a back and forth fucking match. He made Kyle Fletcher look like $1 million.
Literally, either of them could have won. That's what was so exciting about it. Like it was a phenomenal match, probably the best TV match for me that I've seen this year.
Yeah,
and. Yeah, so to turn around and say he was being jobbed is like just insanity. Just means you don't know what the term means, which is fine. Like if you don't know what the term means,
or you're just throwing it out there because buzzwords.
But
when you showcased to me that your level of knowledge of wrestling comes from podcasters who just loosely tell you what words mean at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Miss Rachel should teach wrestling to people. But look,
I'd watch it.
I've never watched Miss Rachel, but from what
I know Grap said he was going to highlight comments and have that job, but everything Skoto said here, here, absolutely, yes.
But the match between the two of them was great. I think so. I had this theory. We don't know why he lost the title so quickly, and the thing that I would have expected would have made more sense would have been for that match to have taken place in Australia, not the Dynamite before Australia. So Carl actually won the title there rather than going in as a champion. My theory on that, and it's only a theory because we don't know, but he's just left the WWE, right? He is 2 weeks into his new role, new career at AEW. going to Australia, you need to have a visa. Getting a visa is not that difficult, from what I can understand. You have to apply for it, but unless you've got like a big criminal background, you'll get your visa. It'll take a few days, but if you want to work in Australia, you need a different type of visa.
Yeah,
and he would have undoubtedly had one of those at some point with WWE, but when you no longer work for that company, you start from scratch. So I think it's probably just there wasn't time to get him cleared to work over there, and that's it. And that's why they had to do it at Dynamite. Regardless of that, anyway, it doesn't matter because, as other people have pointed out, traditionally TV titles, not in AEW, but in WCW, places like that.
I would say in AEW.
Yeah, but
with the exception of the TBS title.
Yeah.
With the exception 2 reigns of the TBS title.
Yeah. But they're not designated. They're not designated for having like year-long reigns or 6-month reigns. So, and also as well, when somebody has a title and loses it 2 weeks later, that's a shock, right?
Yeah.
I better tune in and watch because anything can happen, right? If there's a title match, it's not guaranteed to be a draw or an obvious winner. Like maybe something will happen on this broadcast. I should tune in and watch it. Make sure I'm there for it.
I've made this argument for years about the TNT title, especially. That's exactly what the fuck the title should be.
Yeah.
It should be, okay, we're going to defend this. And then all of a sudden, this person's who just won it, he's in a match 2 weeks later and he loses it there. Oh, man, that's a shock. I got to tune in to see what happens next. That should be the title you have that happen with. And it was no different than when WCW did it with the World Television title. How many times did that thing change hands? That was it. Like before hot potatoing the world title, they already had that unlocked with the television title, folks. Like
I think was it in the year 2000? I think it changed hands something stupid like
it was like
almost 40 times.
Yeah, it was 40 times.
52 weeks.
That was the world title, yeah. But like even then, like they were doing that with the television title. They did that with the fucking cruiserweight title too, by the way. Like and those titles, they made sense. And part of the reasons that it makes sense here, look at the 3 names and then look at everybody else that's also trying to chomp at the bit to get the TNT title. That's a killer division, no pun intended. Like this is very MMA-esque with the TV title, right? You look at back in like I'll use a perfect example and an analogy of this. You look at MMA from like 2010 to 2013. Middleweight, I think it was the middleweight division, full of fucking killers. Welterweight too, my understanding. Both divisions had killers in them, and the title would change hands every pay-per-view. It is very common if you have a division full of crazy, athletic people or high-striking people in those divisions for it to change hands that frequently. And this is exactly what the TNT title division is in AEW. It is no different than from actual sport the way they're booking it here. And that's where I'm like, I love what they did with the Kyle Fletcher runs. I think we're going to get a banger triple threat out of it, I think. That's what we're leading to at Revolution. And I'm going to love it. I'm not complaining at how they kind of led up to this point. It's going to be Briscoe. It's going to be Ciampa. It's going to be Fletcher. And it's going to slap.
I mean, like Ciampa's had 2 matches so far.
Yeah.
Both been great. Briscoe, Kyle Fletcher, it was, match 7 of like the made up 7-match series, right? Ended in a banger, like great match. And the 3 of them together, if that's the direction they go, the 3 of them together are going to have a great match. So,
yeah.
It's
Dev's favorite, by the way. 3-way.
I'm trying to work out who Dev thinks is the greatest NXT champion of all time.
Oh, Ciampa. I'm with him, hands down. Ciampa.
Adam Cole.
Adam Cole.
Yeah.
1A, 1B.
Adam Cole.
Because Ciampa had a generational heel run with the title.
Yeah, and he feuded with Johnny Gargano the entire time.
Yeah, this is the problem.
Yeah,
It was
I know.
DIY switch and bait, but
it was still good.
Anyway, is there anything else, Fish, that you want to talk about with the match?
Well, I just wanted to go on and say, first and foremost, rough match. Love the Peak Championship.
Yeah,
love it.
And it fits the motif of Kyle Fletcher, and all real men wear peak, evidently.
Sure do.
Pull that one up. It's one of those. Also, Cage Match says that this is the best match of the night. So who am I to argue with Cage Match?
You can.
Brutal ass.
You can't argue. You can't argue that. You can't argue against it. The next match, because the world title's last. Hangman Page, Andrade El Idolo. Andrade was on a hot streak leading into this match, defeating the likes of Swerve Strickland and Kenny Omega. Some low blows here and there, coming in. Also, Andrade got the baddies. He's got the baddie section, everybody. And, Andrade, on momentum I haven't seen since NXT.
Yep.
Finally finding his stride again. And he clashed with the Cowboy, the Hangman, Adam Page, for the number one contention for the AEW World Championship. Honestly, I understand why Hangman Page won. He's the babyface. Logically, he should have won because, otherwise we're going to have a heel versus a heel. And if, Andrade won, he would be wrestling MJF with a sea of Latinos screaming for Andrade. He would be the babyface for the match, despite being a heel. It's a concept I would have liked to see.
See, I'm not convinced he is a heel. He's in a heel faction, right, at the moment. And the thing that I said about the match at the end is he went for the low blow, obviously a heel move, and that's helped him in his other matches. He tried to do it in this one when Don Callis distracted the referee. That referee distraction ended up costing him the match because Hangman, and this is a character trait of Hangman that I've always really liked. He's the only wrestler who watches Dynamite and Collision in that locker room because he knows all the tricks that people are doing behind the ref's back. So he knew what was coming, and that's why he counted it himself. But I think he's organically getting over. I think he could very much, even call it a tweener, but I think going into a match against MJF, he wouldn't be the heel. But by nature, because MJF is such a heel. I think the reaction that he's been getting is too hard to ignore. So I would have liked to have seen that. I do think MJF Hangman was the predictable outcome, was what you kind of expected to see at the next pay-per-view, which is why I would have been more excited with an Andrade win. But it is what it is. It's still going to be a good match, I'm sure. It's just that's what I would like to have seen. That said, they have got 3-4 weeks before the pay-per-view.
Yep.
Maybe he'll be able to get himself in that some way. Get a nice little Dev freeway going on. But yeah, I mean, it was a great match. Thoroughly enjoyed it, and other than the result not going my way, no complaints.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the main event. I mean, shocker, the guy who's been singing the praises.
We're not quite at the main event. Yep.
Here.
We are on Adam Page and Andrade.
Sorry, my brain did a squirrel again because we talked about the main event. It's yeah, that's the main event. Yeah, no, it's not. We're still on Hangman and Andrade, but I agree with you in the fact that I think that I would have liked to have seen heel versus heel regardless. I think it would have been interesting. I'm kind of with you, Hannibal. I think there's a bit of a dissension there. I think they're kind of building up the what do you call it? The dissension between the Callis family and all the members pretty well here, and there's subtle signs of that being the case, and I do see that in El Idolo as well. So I'm curious on where it goes, and shit. I mean, if they build to a three-way, that would be 2 3-ways they're building to, and Dev's a happy person come Revolution.
I just think, I said this last night to Advocate. I think he's the one for me that fits in the least with the DCF.
Yeah.
And he's also the last one to come in, right? He's the most recent one to come in. So it could easily be like the sorry, the first one to go. But yeah, because like, at the end of the day, he can argue Don cost him the match. That could be the tipping point for him.
Yeah.
The only problem I have, if that's the route they go down, literally the only problem is he has got better, more confident on the mic. I still don't think he's there. I still feel he could probably benefit from a mouthpiece. Abrahentes isn't there anymore.
Yeah.
Who would you pair him with? That's the only. I can't really think of anyone. That's the only kind of like fly in the ointment for me. I still think it might happen.
What I would do personally, as I wouldn't have him cut live promos.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like Shinsuke Nakamura in the WWE, his most recent quote unquote best work that he's done was his heel turn, in which he started cutting promos exclusively in Japanese. They were pre-tapes, and you have to have a certain level of charisma to sell this to, by the way. You have to genuinely believe what you're saying for this to get over. And also, you can't have any real mistranslations, okay? Translations have to come from the heart to people. So, anyways, not the point. But do pre-tapes. Throw them on the screen, right? And just get done that way. And if he's going to cut a live promo, have it done entirely in Spanish. Yeah, sure, there's going to be a disconnect with the live audience. But, you know, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that there isn't a really large Hispanic, crowd,
Well, that and like
population.
It furthers the relationship that they got going on with CMLL, and to your point, they're building their Latino demographic, the Latina demographic as well. I'm with Ryan. I don't think you need to have him cut live promos. I think he needs to cut, backstage vignettes in Spanish, mean what he says, and he'll get over that way. I mean, not everybody is going to be, bilingual, like freaking Okada. And he can easily.
I wouldn't call Okada bilingual.
Well,
he can talk some English. I need to hear.
He talks more English than I thought he did, to be honest. He can speak full sentences, and he's funny. He's a funny bastard, by the way.
Yeah, I think he probably is like almost fluent in English at this point. I mean, Andrade is. It's just that, or certainly, has a better grasp on English than I do on Spanish.
Yes.
But the other thing that's going on, and I guess this kind of leads us into the main event, is the one thing that is getting attention / controversy, whatever, however you feel about it. But it's getting them mainstream attention at the moment. Mm-hmm. Is the protest from the crowd about ICE, and that is it's not directed at MJF. because that's got nothing to do with MJF's character, but it has been kind of been involved with MJF because of who he's been fighting. Someone very openly outspoken against Ice. And logically, even though it's a different character, different story, everything like that, it could quite easily shift from Brody to Andrade if they really wanted to kind of push that angle. That could easily be translated, but or transitioned, even not translated. But I guess Ryan, let's talk about the main event.
All right, so we get to the main event: MJF, Brody King. Brody tried to end this fast. Multiple attempts at trying to end this fast, and MJF is a very smart person. The only reason Brody King, not say that the only reason he beat MJF in the non-title a few weeks ago,
the
Eliminator match. Yes, that's the word. Is because Hangman distracted him. Okay, and MJF took his eyes off the prize, and let's see here.
You just took your eyes off the prize as well.
Well, when people tag me
does
in this chat, I tell people that I use this. Let's bring up our guest if he's here.
Might as well. Hi, Dev. We're bringing you up. We're bringing you up prematurely. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Dev, what is that? What is that picture?
I was having a bad hair day and a bad Wi-Fi day, so I just thought I'd put on my best profile picture for you guys as I speak. Hopefully, my voice matches the attractiveness of this photograph.
Correct. Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
It's wonderful. It's wonderful.
I assume this is a whole upgrade off of what I usually look like.
Well, no, because usually you have this beautiful Blue Thunder hoodie that you can find exclusively at AEW site.
At
shopdubc.com.
You were on the right.
Shopdubc.com. Yes.
The picture was so beautiful. You were so distracted by this.
Shopdubc.com.
So eventually what I'll have our amazing editors do is crop a Shopdubc shirt on this majestic looking image.
Yep.
And all parties should be happy.
Makes sense.
Is there anything else you want to talk about?
Yeah, I actually did want to talk before I interrupted the most glorious autistic three-way on the planet. I wanted to highlight the intergender tag match. For me, that was this might sound silly, but I think that had the best build. I think Tony and Marina sold it brilliantly as rivals to their clash and styles and promos. You know, Tony is the eccentric cartoon villain, with Marina being the one with the badass mean streak. And it was so easy to root for Tony and root against the Death Riders. You absolutely did not want, unless you're WrestleFish, you absolutely did not want Tony and Orange Cassidy to get their heads shaved in that equation. That's the one I was most looking forward
to. Wanted Tony Storm to get her head shaved.
I think it would have been hilarious. I think it would have been great. She kind of hyped it up like that could be.
Well, her character is already mentally ill, for lack of a better term. She's an actress who thinks that it is the 1940s, 50s. Yeah. Have we moved past the 50s? Have we moved past the 50s yet?
No.
Either way, timeless Tony Storm, timeless. But her bald, we could have did so much with that. But bald Marina Shafir would have been just more scary Marina Shafir.
I would have loved to have seen bald bastard Tony Storm. Her words, not mine. Okay.
But Dev, we were just talking about the main event, Brody MJF. What did you think?
It was a really good showing, and it was one of those matches. This also had a really good build to where you thought it could have gone either way. You know, MJF is so much of a classic villain to where the odds are on his side, but Brody also came off so unstoppable as of lately. I loved the matchup. And MJF put Brody over in probably the best way ever since. Yeah, like I think he put Brody King over just as well as he did Bandito.
Yeah. Yeah, he really put Brodito over well in these two matches. Brody King, he made look like a freaking killer. And I think he's definitely going to be world title bound. I think we've gotten a taste now because we've been saying we want Brody King in the singles division, and we're seeing why now because he just went toe to toe with one of the best on the planet, right? And had a freaking banger, pay-per-view quality match on a TV special. A lot of eyes on it. I think this is going to be his future in about a year or two. Not right away, but he's going to be a single star, and they're going to go full run with it. And I think this is kind of a test run. He passed with flying colors, in my opinion.
I think the thing
MJF
as well
makes stars. I've been saying that for the past few weeks.
Well,
And a lot of people, it's so easy to hate him that I think people do forget what he does for others and the business.
Exactly.
Sorry, Hannibal.
Thank
well,
you.
the thing with my understanding of MJF and Brody is that they knew each other before AEW.
Oh yeah, way before.
They are friends, and MJF wanted to put his friend over, and I think did it very well. And I think the interesting thing now is obviously what happens next. But I think it did make Brody look strong, and we just saw a title match a few weeks ago, a Royal Rumble between Drew McIntyre and Sami Zayn, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, Sami Zayn hasn't, he hasn't had that yet, but he's been at that level numerous times before, where he could have won the world title, and he's overdue. He needs it. He deserves it, right? But if you look at that match and how he was made to look in that match against Drew, and compare that to how MJF made Brody look, night and day. And I'm not saying it to WWE. No, I'm not saying it for that. I'm saying it because, when I watched that match, I was quite shocked at how, and we use that term, or mentioned that term earlier, jobbers, right? Sami Zayn wasn't jobbed in that. He wasn't a jobber in that match, but he did look a bit like a chump. And he really wasn't given much in that match. It was a very dominating Drew McIntyre match. And I didn't think it was necessary. This was far more balanced. And this is how you get someone over in a loss. He's a made man by losing that match. He would have been an even more made, obviously, if he won. But what I mean is he looked so strong in the Eliminator and this match that his stock is up, and that is because that's how you book a match like that, to make
100%.
the loser look strong in defeat.
Yep.
Perfectly done.
No, this is just how I'm reading things, right? Brody's not done yet. He will try again at some point. But in the short term, I'm sitting here looking at Bandito's list of challengers. And we really want to stress test it. But Brody wrestled Bandito.
Yeah.
For the ROH championship. Whether it's because one turns on the other, or it's just two friends going to war, right? It's what do we do with Brody King now
Yeah.
that he's lost the title or lost his title opportunity that will make or break this. Tony has this bad rep for booking big men. I think we can all agree that if you're a big man, and you're probably not going to be pushed as well, mainly because big men traditionally don't have a lot of moves. They can't hoop the same way. They hoop differently. They hoop with their size. They don't necessarily hoop with their move set, right? And Brody is someone who can hoop. Okay, so I feel like it's time to give him something for his efforts. Give him the Ring of Honor title. Bandito's had a good run with the belt.
I agree with this.
Make him the face of Ring of Honor. And I know that, you know, the guy who's cheered by with the fuck ice chants, probably beating a luchador for their championship, might not be a great look at that. But, you know, what else are we going to do with him, right?
No,
At the end of the day,
it's the perfect way of doing it. I think it's you give somebody the opportunity to, here's the belt, run with it.
Yeah.
Show what you can do. I mean, look, that isn't that what I did with Bandito in the first place? Really?
You could do the same thing with Brody King. Yeah. Easy. Yeah.
And the thing is, like, I don't want Brody to turn heel. If you think back to when Bandito got his opportunity to face MJF and lost, in the run up to that, he said, you know, when I win this belt, I'm gonna give you a title shot. Yeah. And he couldn't because he didn't win. And now Brody didn't win. So now it's like, okay, you were going to give me a title shot. You fell short, but you've got a title. You've got a world title. Let me have a crack at you for that title. Yeah. It writes itself. And again, you don't need to have the usual trope of like one turning on the other. Ring of Honor, I mean, Ring of Honor was built on the code of honor, right?
Yeah, that's easy.
Handshake before. It didn't have to be friend versus foe. It could be friend versus friend, foe versus foe. So if there's any place you do a match like that, it's Ring of Honor. It's written. It's right there. Tony, don't balls it up.
Easy.
Well,
easy booking.
With that, I will say I think Grand Slam was a better show than it was last year.
Yes.
In my opinion. Grand Slam Australia, not to be confused with Grand Slam Mexico, because we do 2 Grand Slam shows a year now, evidently. And I imagine that Grand Slam Mexico is going to come again. Can't promise it. Can't promise what I don't know for a fact, but I have a feeling, right?
To be fair, we could be getting 3 once Arthur Ashe is finished with renovations.
Arthur Ashe is not getting art. First off, James, Arthur Ashe. When you're going to bring up research like that, do your research. Arthur Ashe is going through renovations, but that ain't going to be done until 2027. As you know, it just is what it is, and that's at the short term.
Well, still,
yeah, we're talking about the calendar year 2026, James. I know math isn't your strong suit.
Hey,
but you know we can get Scott Steiner in here one of these days.
Scott Steiner forgot that he was supposed to add and he divided, or the other way around. I don't know.
You know, with enough math, you can get there. Okay. Anyways, regardless of the point, James, Grand Slam was, in my opinion, a better show than it was last year. I'm disappointed with one thing and one thing only, and it has little to do with the show itself. And you know. Not to get too sentimental about this, but I was really hoping to hear or see anything out of Buddy Matthews.
Yeah, me too.
He's been gone since Grand Slam last year, since he broke his ankle in the match with Okada. Wrestling a match on a broken ankle, no joke. And he's been down ever since. And it's just like, when you hear things like he's still dealing with shit from a year ago, then you hear that Bianca Belair just had surgery on her finger from an injury that she sustained nearly a year ago as well. You're reminded that this thing that we love, wrestling, pro wrestling, is not ballet,
No.
and people get fucking hurt. And it's the, pectoral tears happen, muscle tears happen. It's the weird injuries, the things that don't seem like they're going to be that big of a deal, that always turns into a bigger deal than it should be. And if he ain't back now, man, I'm concerned. And that's just me as a Buddy Matthews fan.
Yeah, I'm with you. I hope he's doing well, and I hope he's recovering nicely, and I hope he comes back sooner rather than later.
I do wonder what's next for the Grand Slam, though, because I think, it's very likely we will get another one in Mexico this year after the success of last year's.
Yes.
But Australia's a different beast. And I was saying this yesterday. I noted that the Grand Slam Australia was put on by a promotion, or promoters, should I say. So this is like what WCW used to have and TNA have had in the past as well.
Yep.
So they are being brought over. AEW are not choosing to go to Australia. They're not making that decision. They're being approached to say, we want you to come to Australia. So they are in charge of putting the show on, right? So they did that last year. They've done that this year. They lost their TV deal this year. So they were on ESPN in Australia. You can watch them on Triller. That's how my friend watches it over there. But they're not on ESPN anymore. So I do wonder, unless they get another TV deal, if they will go back to Australia next year. They haven't, not that I've seen anyway, they haven't announced that they're returning next year. And that is also a tell to me, because, all in Wembley, as we left the stadium, the signs are up to say, we'll see you next year. When All in 2024 happened, they said they'll be returning to London next year. So you knew, that said to me they weren't going back to Wembley, but we knew that they were going back. And when they had Grand Slam last year in Australia, they did the same thing. We'll see you next year. So I've not seen that from anybody yet. That, to me, suggests they might not be going back next year. Maybe not until they get another TV deal out there. So just thought I'd throw it out there. I don't know. No one will obviously know.
Right.
But just interesting to note. That was all.
Fair enough. Real quick.
Pretty much.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
All right, go ahead, Espeth. What you gonna ask?
I was gonna say, Dev, what did you think of Grand Slam overall before we start winding things down here?
So before I make this point, as you guys know, you guys can confirm, I am the least tribalistic person on the planet. So
yes, terrorist for wrestling opinions, but not a tribalist.
Yeah,
that's right. Positive
actually,
terrorism.
I was giving you the blink eyes, but no, what Hannibal said actually is true. That's more accurate. Yes, continue. I can also confirm now that I thought about it.
So for those on who may come off as tribalistic or attempt to be tribalistic and want to tell people, or treat Collision as if it's Tony Khan the Beast show, it's not.
Nope.
It's another really good wrestling show. Grand Slam cemented that this year, early on in the year at that. And I just wanted to get that out the way. Grand Slam, I thought it was great from start to finish.
I agree.
And I already told you guys my match of the night. And I actually predicted like half of. I don't really get my predictions right. I predicted the draw. I said that.
Good.
Yeah.
True story. And yeah, I think I'd give it like 4.5 stars as the show from start to finish.
I agree with that. That was a really fun show. Had a good time. A couple of great shows from AEW that week, actually, of really good wrestling. So I think they deserve to be fully commended. And can of Coke to you, as OSW Review would say.
Fair enough.
I
take your word.
did that solely to pop Hannibal right there.
Yeah, I've got no idea what's going on.
Oh,
do you want to? Like, we're gonna wrap up. So do you want to?
Yeah, let's go.
Yes.
I would
Let's
love
go ahead.
to
We
wrap you
hit
guys
everything.
up.
Ooh.
Pause.
If I may be so kind and ask you three, who is your favorite black video game character?
I got mine right away. TJ Combo from I believe it's Killer Instinct, but I've been off all day, so correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe Killer Instinct, specifically Killer Instinct Day. I think he's bad ass. My runner-up, if it's not TJ Combo, Dudley, Street Fighter. Always played me some Dudley.
So you were a spammer. Tough.
Yes, very much, dude. The amount of times in Street Fighter 4 I'd spam that fucking elbow. Oh my god, I annoyed the shit out of people with that.
So it looks like the other two still have their thinking caps on. So I'll
No, do you know what it is? I don't have a lot of. I was trying to think of video game characters in general, and then I realized that most of the video games that I really like do not involve human beings. it's normally like an alien or I guess an Italian plumber is human, to be fair.
This is fair.
But
valid.
I always used to wind people up by playing as Bullrog in Street Fighter 2 because he's got some long arms. And so you could if you could trap somebody in a corner, you'd be able to get like a bit of a cheap win, to be fair. So yeah.
Little fun fact for any Street Fighter nerd: M. Bison was supposed to be Balrog because it was a play on Mike Tyson, but then they switched M. Bison to be the guy who wanted to go green and was somehow evil for it.
I think in Japan it's still that way around.
Yes.
So, for my favorite black video game character, who doesn't appreciate a good dirty cop? Officer Frank Tenpenny, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
That's fair.
CJ would have been another good shout, actually.
Yep.
Well, I wasn't trying to go for the main character, but
no, but yeah.
My favorite.
CJ is.
Go ahead, Ryan.
But CJ would have been a fair shout. But Samuel L. Jackson, bro.
Yeah, Samuel.
Like one of my favorite roles.
Yeah.
My favorite GTA character that's black is the guy who got the number 9. The number 9.
EJ. All right, EJ. You gave yours. You didn't say GTA. It was not. The question wasn't your favorite black GTA character. The question was your favorite black video game character.
It was a joke.
God
so,
damn it,
Dev, let's throw it back to you.
Yes.
Oh.
I'm curious on this answer.
50 Cent in the 50 Cent game.
Man. Come
You know
on,
what?
man.
Rich or die trying, bro.
Everybody in every motherfucker that was badass in Def Jam. There you go. That's my answer.
Oh my god.
Def Jam was awesome.
I can see who my least favorite on that basis. My least favorite black character in a video game. That was Sean Paul from Def Jam Fight for New York.
Yeah.
Well,
that was not great.
And with that, everybody, it's been real. It's been fun. We have
that is a great shout. I forgot about Saints.
Great shout, Rex. We here at the Wrestling Collective appreciate everybody who comes and engages with our program, shares, likes, subscribes, all that jazz, right?
ShopDubC.com.
If for all your t-shirt needs, ShopDubC.com. For all your hoodie needs, ShopDubC.com. For all your sticker needs, ShopDubC.com. And if I can get them done, for all your Ninja Star needs, ShopDubC.com.
We're working on it.
It is what it is. But for all our friends on X tonight, Monday Night Raw review post show, Carlos, the Friends of Pro Wrestling accounts. 15 minutes after Raw goes off the air, you can find me and Hannibal again Wednesday for Light the Fuse. Coming to YouTube, some point in the future, pending. And also, 15 minutes after Dynamite goes off the air, Wednesday Night Chaos with the Friends of Pro Wrestling and Wrestle Collective. All that jazz. And, if you really, really like us, and again, you've stuck around, you subscribed, you ding that bell, everybody. Turn on your notifications, please. Wrestle Collective Weekly, this Thursday.
Yes.
Usual start time, 6 p.m. Sometimes we have to run it up a little, but it is what it is. Please come join. And not to mention our once a month shows broadcast, Queens Road, which if you want, to go back and watch this month's episode, it's video on demand. Go enjoy. If you haven't seen it, it's a great product.
It's on this
Or
replay. Listen to Carlos as much as possible.
Yes.
So, at the end of the day, we also have Hot Dog and a Handshake. Independent wrestling. You cover all things wrestling here. Try to, for the most part.
Yes, sir.
And it is what it is. Between X and YouTube. So with that, it's been real. It's been fun. Ain't been real fun. Okay, it's been real fun.
It's always
I digress.
It's always real fun here.
But
Smirch the good name of Tism like that.
I'm just fucking with you.
But James, is there anything else we need to from you plug before we?
That's fair. I actually almost forgot that. Thank you for reminding me.
I'm switching from 50 Cent to Method Man. That's
Jesus.
all. I'm resting my case.
I'm sure there's going to be some watch-alongs this weekend on the SRS side. If you want to go check me and Ryan out, do whatever there. I'm sure there's going to be 2 at least on the Wrestle Collective right here in conjunction with the partnership. So go check those out if you haven't already.
Maybe.
I
haven't
have
seen what's the letter schedule for the weekend.
Yeah,
I've seen the schedule, but I ain't looked at it for a few weeks.
Yeah, me too. That's kind of where I'm at. So if there's something, there's something. If there's not, there's not. But you can always check us out on the Simply Reliable Studios X. Keep up to date with the scheduling. As the boy said, go check out everything on the Wrestle Collective front. If you want to check out what I did over the weekend, came back for the Daytona 500 because I wanted to call the Daytona 500 because I like the races. I am white trash. I want you to look at me. I'm very white trash. Can you tell? I like NASCAR, MMA, and wrestling.
That's the clip for the week. Yeah.
There you go. I literally like one step away from smoking a Winston cigarette. That's how white trash I am. So yeah, go check that out. And
Marlboro Red.
Yeah, Marlboro Red probably. And overall, go check out everything as they said on the Wrestle Collective front. Don't forget Weekend at Advocates as well, randomly throughout the week. Or maybe a fish fry here and there. You never know what happens on a weekend. So could it be a weekend space as well? And yeah, just stay tuned for what we got coming up here on the Wrestle Collective front and our partners at Simply Reliable Studios, which I'm in both. So support me by supporting my people. That'd be great. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, it has been a good one. Great shows overall this week in wrestling. We talked some video games. I'm sure we're going to be talking a lot more as the week rolls on. And until next time, there's always a little bit of spectrum on the internet. Thank you so very much for watching, and take care.
Ladies and gents, thanks for stopping by. And until next time, this is the Wrestle Collective. dead.